So one of the big problems we see all the time, people are putting together a production. You're going to film some video. I mean, you know you need high quality online content. You need to build a community. You need to be able to convert that community into paying clients for your business or project to really thrive. So you're going to put together your production. You're going to put together your content. You're going to film some video. And it's like, where do you start with that? Do you just get your iPhone out and start talking? Do you go to a studio? Do you know, there's so many different parts to it. What do you even talk about? How do you structure your presentation? How do you talk about all the different things? So to answer this, where I start with everything, with all clients, and whether it's the agency or the education work we do, we always start in the same place. It's the 5 elements production plan. So let me draw it out like this. I'm going to dive right in. When you get how the 5 element production plan works, you'll be able to plan out any production, any campaign, any promotion, any project, anything that you're doing in your business. You'll have a structure that you can use to plan out the project from start to finish and get an excellent result. Without some kind of a structure for making a plan, you're always just kind of guessing. You're always kind of shooting blind. You're always just like, you know, let's just get started and see what happens. And it's usually 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But when you've got a clear plan, you can actually go from A to B, getting all the pieces in the right order that need to be there without missing anything. That's what the 5 elements production plan does. So we call it the 5 elements production plan because it covers the 5 elements. If you're familiar with the Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine, that beautiful philosophy from Lao Tzu and the I Ching and the Book of Change, you know, it's this beautiful 5,000-year-old philosophy based on thousands of years of observation of human experience and nature. It brings us to the 5 elements. Of course, the 5 elements kind of fit on this tall, skinny star. The first element is water. Water is the spirit element. And spirit asks the question, why? It says, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this production? Why are we doing this campaign? Why are we doing this promotion? Why is this project important right now? So that's the place we always start. The second element is the wood element. Wood is the dynamo energy, and it asks the question, what? It says, what are we actually doing here? So we limit this is where we nail out our specific objectives. So we've got usually we limit to three areas. We'll do a financial objective, a development objective, and a learning objective, for example. And I'm going to go into more detail in all of these, but I just want to map it all out so you can see what each of the pieces are, and then we can dive into detail on how to do each of these, and you'll get the template as well. The third element is the fire element, which is a blaze frequency, and it asks the question, who? It's all about people and relationships. So we're looking at, who am I? What's the value that I bring? Who's my market? What's the problem that I solve for them? Who are they? What is it that's freaking them out? What do they have in common? And it could be demographics, it could be psychographics, but at this point we're looking at who they are. We're also very clearly looking at who's on my team, who are my allies, who are my partners, who is working together with me on this. So this area is all the people and relationship side of your project or campaign. The next element is the earth element. Earth element is the tempo frequency, and tempo asks the question, when? This is all about timing. So this is where we map out our time frames and our milestones. This is where we literally plan out the details of the campaign. This is where the project manager comes in. Project managers are great at this they're very grounded, very down to earth. If this kind of conversation, you've got their head in the clouds, down here they've got their ear to the ground, right? And they're very focused at the timing of things. So at this point, we're not considering how long it's going to take. We're just going, this is where we are, that's where we're going to be. That far off mountaintop, that's where we're going. At this point, we're going to go, well, actually, that's a long way away. It's going to take some time to get there, and maybe we're going to plan it out in a few stages. Maybe we're going to do a preparation stage first, where we're going to gather all our materials. Then we're going to put the team together, and then we're going to actually go down to the valley, and then we'll get up to base camp 1, and then it's like we plan out all the steps. And the final element is the steel element. Steel is the metal element, and it asks the question, how? How are we actually going to do this? This is our strategic plan. This is where we get really strategic. It's where we start critical thinking. It's where we start saying no to different options and really getting clear on what's going to work and what's going to not and how we're going to get there. It's very different to the wood energy, which is kind of like anything's possible and we're going to shoot for the stars. Now, the reason we go in this order is because you imagine if you're in a brainstorming session and the creativity's flowing, you say, we could do this, and we could do this, and we could do this, and this is what's possible, and someone walks into that session and says, how are you going to do that? Right? It just kills the creativity instantly. So we don't want to bring this kind of an energy into this kind of a conversation. However, for the project to succeed, of course, we need to know how we're going to do it, right? So it just needs to come in the right order. Now, if you have a look at the circle, this is how the Chinese medicine works. The circle around the outside is the circle of flow. And it says water feeds the wood, wood fuels the fire, fire brings everything back down to earth, and earth produces the metal. That's the cycle of creation, or the cycle of flow. If you look at this pentagram, or the star, the five-pointed star on the inside, this is the cycle of destruction. Steel cuts the wood, wood digs up the earth like a tree root. The earth can't stand against a tree root, it just goes straight through it. Wood can dam up the water, earth can dam up the water, right, like a riverbank or a dam can hold back the water. Water puts out the fire, and fire melts the steel. So this is the cycle of control, or the cycle of destruction, and this is the cycle of flow, or the cycle of creation. When we get things in the right order, everything flows. Your business will flow, your campaign, your project, your production will flow. When we start to do things in the wrong order, we get stuck and we can't move forward. Hope this is making sense. I'm going to dive into more detail now. If you download the template for your 5 Elements production plan, or go into your Google Drive and get that one, you'll see it there. And I'll go into more detail on how each of these 5 work. Hope this is helpful. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.